today. What I'm going to be talking about here, just a short video on the new demarc lines breakout using the subdems as confirmation. This is just something I started up last night. You can see here 12:04 local time is Central Standard Time. And I wanted to see how it would do. And so far it has opened one trade. And you can see we're up $13 or $14 around in there. And we have been up as high as 31 with only a low drawdown of $1.42. So, and here you can see is where it kicked in. It just kicked in this morning. Looks like around 8 o'clock in the morning here, just before, right around the time in New York. So that's when she kicked in and opened an Aussie yen trade. So let's go look at that once and see what it's doing. Here's the trade. Now I'm going to show you what the settings are. I think I'm using default on all these. Basically, these are all the default settings, so I didn't change anything there. Make sure you're in default mode, just hit reset, and then you'll be in the default settings. I'm using the auto take profit, which, as you can see, puts a take profit at the 50% point is what we got it set at here. So that means it's the distance from the latest fresh zone, which in this case happens to be a demand zone, is our latest fresh zone, from down here to the bottom here, our supply zone, and we do a 50%, so this is our 50% take profit. And as you can see, we have shot up here fairly close, and now we're pulling back a little bit. Now also I have got the automatic normal fixed stop loss set to true. Puts a stop loss at the bottom of our demand zone. Now of course, remember, if I was to use the tight one, it would have put one at the top. Now as you remember, we can grab these and put these wherever we want to. So say you saw this pulling back a little bit, you wanted to at least get out break even. Let's get rid of this for a minute here. What you can do is just double click it, and you see you get the little squares over there, so you know it's double clicked. And we can move this up, and let's say we put it right there. Here's our entry point, and now we're just a little bit above it, so we should at least get out at break even if this pulls down and hits it, rather than waiting until it comes way back down here. Okay, so let's go back to our settings again. I'm not using any trailing targets or trail buy, not using that. I'm not using the add tos, so I'm not using the martingale breakout. I am just looking for a 2-pip break above the line. Let's see here, let's expand this a little bit, you can see a little bit better. And as you can see, this is where we broke. And when it went 2 pips, at least 2 pips, of course you got to take in the slippage and all that into consideration. And we get an entry. You can also use the, get back over here. Remember, you can also use the candle close if you want to, if you want the candle to close above the line. But as you can see, if we would have waited for the candle to close, we would have been way up here for our entry. So instead we got in down here by using just the 2-pip trendline break. Now I know a lot of you are probably saying, well, how come we didn't get in back here it broke the line. Well, this trend line, remember, uses these fractals. So this trend line was not here when we were back here, because it takes 5 closed candles to create one of these fractals. 2 on going up, and then you got the high one, and then you got the 2 coming down, lower ones. So this fractal would not have been there until we got over here where the yellow line is. We would have had a fractal probably over here. Because it, no, let's see, sorry about that, not over there. It would have been from this fractal over to here, so this line would have been way over here at that point in time. But once this fractal formed, and it was confirmed with the 2 closed candles after it, then this line jumped in there, and then you can see we went 2 pips above the line and took the trade. So when you're looking at these, remember that these lines take at least 5 closed fractals, with the high fractal or the low fractal if you're going down in the middle of the pair of the group of 5. Okay, so we didn't have the so that's the breakout lines, and we got auto draw set to true. All that means is these lines will keep updating as new fractals are formed. If you're not in a trade, if you're in a trade, they don't change because we want to be able to see where the line was when you broke through it. And then we got our septum filter settings. 50%, that's this gray box, is 50% of the distance between these two. Now you say, well, that's quite a lot, isn't it? It's all the way up to the take profit. But what keeps us out of the trade is our risk reward down here. So if we get too far up here, then our risk reward goes past the 1-to-1, which we had it set at, and we would end up not taking the trade. Now right now it's reading minus 20, that's because the numbers have changed. Those are not the numbers it was when it entered in. So, and of course I moved my stop loss up here. So right now this is confused because of my stop loss position, because I moved it. So don't read these right now. They don't count. Got the alerts turned off. If you're trading a lot of these, like if you're going to trade a 4-hour chart, right now we're trading just the hourly. If you trade a 4-hour or a daily, you can turn your alert mode on if you want to, and then you can come and look at the trade when it alerts you to see if you want to take it or not. Remember, you can do that, so you can give it your last go or no go. Acceleration, not using that. That's when the price goes above the previous candle. In this case, it would have broke out here. Instead of getting out here, it would have waited till probably about up here where it's above the previous candle. So we got in just a little bit sooner. Now if we, let's see here once, if we do this, see how the risk reward changed? This is about what it was when we entered the trade, about a 1.04 to 1. So we were risking basically this distance down here. That was our risk to get a reward up to here. So that's what it was figuring on. So remember, when you move these lines around, that number is going to get all wacky. So we were going to grab 52 pips, and we were risking 50 pips. Okay, now I'm going to put this back up here. Just got to be careful when you're moving these around, because if you move it up into where the price is, it will kill the trade. Remember, these are hot. they are live. And if you don't think it's going to go all the way up here, you can also grab the take profit line and move it down here. If you want to move it down here, fine. And as you can see, because I just started this up, we haven't even been running a day yet on this. Normally this green line, we probably could have got a couple trade maybe in these other days back here, depending on where this green line was. And also if this was the latest fresh zone. Okay, so that's about it. Wraps it on the, this is the new AITG Subtem Breakout TS, which you can find on the products page if you want to order one. Just thought I'd throw this at you. It works best on higher time frames. I don't know if I'd go any shorter than an hourly. I usually don't go any shorter than hourlies anyway. And if you want to put it on a 4-hour or a daily, that way you don't have to check it very often. It's going to take a while on a daily or even on an hourly to get into trades. But once you get into trades, you should work out pretty good. But it's just going to take longer because you got to get your zones all set up and your distance and that. And daily candles take longer. So that's why I got it on an hour right now, just to see how it's going. You don't want to let this distance in here get too small over in the settings. As you also notice, it'll say Subtem space OK, which means the space is OK. And right now I believe we got that set at I think it's 1 times ADR. Yep, space is 1 times the ADR. So, and that space is okay, so there's at least 1 ADR between the two zones. So if we go back and look at the Aussie yen, what is the ADR? ADR is 79, so we got to have at least 79 pips of space in here. Let's see what we got. We got 164, so we got plenty of space. 79 is way, way down here, almost where our take profit is. And this will be green when that space is okay. If the space is not okay, it will be red. We can look here once and see if we can, okay, here's one that's red, which means there's not enough space. Now it's the Aussie CAD. Let's go see what it is. Aussie CAD is 71. We need at least 71 in there. Yeah, what do we got? We only got 34. So that one doesn't even have enough space. So we would never even attempted to trade this. And then of course, if by the time you got in here, look at how close you would have been already to your take profit. So your risk reward would have kept you out anyway. Just look at a couple more quick here. This one's too close. You can see, look at how close we are there. Not enough space. Too close. So a lot of times you can just zip through all these and look at ones, you know, that are too close or too far. These are all too close. This one's okay, we got a lot of space, but we missed the trade. You can see where the green dotted line is now. It's way up here. And the reason we didn't take it is because if you count your 2 pips, so the reward would have been 53 minus 2 for your buffer, so it would have been a reward of 51, but you would have been risking 82, so you would have never made your 1 to 1. Now there's also that possibility. I wonder how this one would have looked. No, that one wouldn't have done it either. I was just looking back at some of these to see if any of them would have possibly got us our dotted line down closer here. And remember, these zones always take at least 3 closed candles before this zone will even pop up. Okay, so enough on that. Looks like it's doing fairly decent. We'll see if it continues on up or comes back close to our break even. Have a nice day.